child. Good night. It's Coffee Tea or Labrish with Mona Indefatigable Heights. You know the rules. Coffee Tea or Labrish. Shopping spare for me. I'm a money tree. 7 the key got at a 4+3. When you come out, tell a wife of a flea man, pay down panic and take charity. I know it's been a while. Yes, child, a long while. You me get rid of the blue week, the little short one until New Year's. New Year's, me I get the ears. Whatever I want next to the cheap week one, I'm like. The seat I like it and cheap and nice and everything. I have to look what more after the New Year. Yeah. Cyril. We'll make up one Cyril. This season. Alright, so guys, you haven't seen me because I've been stuck over there on Clubhouse with all the drama and all of the susu and the sese and the couscous and the cas were going over Clubhouse because Clubhouse nice and it have my attention. I may look from the left to the right. I may either turn to the left and the right from like the exorcist. I may step away from the light, Caroline, draw closer to the light of Caroline, and rate it, say blase and beer things. So what if things are going, I'm have what if things for talk about. Whew, I don't think I can talk about everything, but I want to touch certain things. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my review of the Real Housewives of Orange County. I think it's season 16, episode 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna give you the real episode of Salt Lake City that I missed last week's review. I'm gonna review Netflix movie Single All the Way. I want to talk about The Witcher, and I want to talk about the Don't Look Up Netflix movie. I want to talk about what they're talking about, a trending topic on Clubhouse is Adam 22 versus Charleston White. I want to talk about Bryan Singer's ex-assistant coming out with accusations against Bryan Singer of sexual harassment. John Griffin, CNN producer who was charged with child harassment charges, child abuse charges. I want to talk about Jason Lee and the Clubhouse and the Dark Side and Sam Vito, and I think that's his name. I want to talk about the Draco the Ruler, rest in peace Draco the Ruler, and the WAC 100 and the Clubhouse situation with Date. And I think I wanted to talk about Meghan King and Joe Biden's nephew really quickly, but let's jump into the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 16, episode 2. So, you know, I'm just returning to this show, so I have to go back and go watch it, but then I had got caught up because that was the plan until I got into the Real Housewives, the Clubhouse drama situation issue that had me stuck. Now I have to mind the business that pays me. Doesn't pay me yet, but will soon. Hopefully. Good. You know, when you're new to the game, you just have to learn it. You sit, you find the people that have the knowledge and the information that you need. You listen to the jewels and stuff, but still, if you don't step out and try to make something of your own or yourself, you will never make it. And so that's a big thing for me, like getting past my hesitations, getting past my reservations, getting past my inner restraints, my brainwash triggers that keep me in place and stuck and unable to move. So a part of Date is all of these. So it's Shannon, Gina, Emily, Noella, Dr. Jen, and Heather. So we're at Heather's party, and Nicole and Heather and Terry DeBro are friends. They're all friends with Nicole, who sued Terry before for a botched boob job, apparently. Noella doesn't work, and her and Dr. Jen have zero in common. Heather wants a group photo. The event is a sushi party. The girls are telling Nicole her boobs look great. Out of nowhere. We need help. That's Gina and Emily, right? They're the shit stirrers, the troublemakers, the fire starters, the block burners. It's like we're in the Twilight Zone. So Nicole's boobs have a big, long story, she said. It didn't go smooth, and it took her 4.5 years to get where she is now with her boobs, okay? Heather and Gina are bonding, being from New York City and all that. Gina's letting the cat out of the bag right now. WTF. Child, how do you tell somebody that the person they think is so cool sued their husband and their other friend knows and never said nothing? Okay, that's what's happening. Emily, is it Emily? Emily sits down with Shannon and Nicole and she says, did you ever tell Heather? And Shannon is what, like what? And she's like, yeah, because, you know, Gina is over there telling Heather right now. And Shannon is like, you can't be serious. Like, I can't believe that you're doing this right now. She leaves. She says, you know, what's happening? What's happening right now in her Lisa Barlow voice. Shannon says that's not okay. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. She didn't want to hurt Heather. And Emily says Gina is telling Heather. Shannon can't believe it. She's like, are you doing this right now? And Gina says, you know, Shannon made this a big thing. No, Gina and Emily made this a thing. Noella is talking about, oh no, they should respect their elders. I'm still like, what the fuck? Gina is extra. Oh my God. Heather's cutting the cameras off. No more filming. Like, what's going on? So in the same breath, Emily is getting to the bottom of the situation with Nicole. So she says, like, I was a young model and my lawyer forced me to file a lawsuit. So Emily says, against Terry. And Nicole says, yes. Oh my God. Heather says she's leaving the show right now. She says she never discussed it with Shannon. Dr. Jen, I didn't notice her all along, but she agrees that Emily is right. And Nicole should have told Heather before. Dr. Emily came in out of nowhere. She was sitting there. I was wondering who she was. And that's when she said one line and I don't know. But Nicole is saying she and Heather don't need nobody in their business. Her and Heather will figure it out and they don't need nobody's opinion. And Emily needs to back the F up. And Shannon says she's been Nicole friends the whole... Shannon needs to back the F up. And Emily needs to back the F up. And Emily's saying that she's been Nicole's friends the whole night. So calm down. And Nicole is a feisty little witch. So then she seats Emily all the way down. She says, sit down. You need to sit down. Sit down. So Nicole had too many drinks in her enemy's house. Are you dumb? She just turned on Emily like, go eat your sushi, bitch. Emily and Gina are leaving. Emily's dragging Gina behind her, and I think they're crazy. So wait a minute, it's a lot, but where's Heather? Nicole is melting, and she says, Emily called me trash. I go on an effing diet, and I shut my effing mouth. What do they have? What? So, who did Noella come with? She's sticking with Shannon. What does Emily want her car for? She doesn't need to drive. She needs to go sit down. Jen walks away from Nicole. She's disengaging. Wait. This needs a drink. I had to pause right there. So Noella sees Max, which is Heather's daughter, who Heather told her was bisexual. She says, are you Max? Hi, I'm Noella. I'm bisexual too. So wait, Emily and Gina are telling Shannon she did the right thing and it's all true. And at the same time, Heather and Terry are looking for Nicole. Heather has a wine glass still, child. She carried that wine glass the whole episode. This isn't a chore. This is a tea party. So Terry says, all right, put it there. I'll charge it for you. So Terry says, are you Nicole White? She says, yes. He said, you sued me. He said, well, you know, you dropped it and nothing happened and it went away. So, you know, we'll forgive you or whatever. And Heather and Terry forgive Nicole and she dropped the cake. No big deal. Party over. By Gina and Shannon. Heather thinks Shannon wanted to hurt them. Shannon said she didn't want to get involved. Dr. Jen and her husband, her stress is she has a house husband that she married somewhere around there. Not putting she, you know, man, cause she's a little up in views. Emily has had issues, but she's a good mom. I like her and her husband, even though I don't like how he talks to her, and I don't like how he's I don't know what kind of relationship it. Gina was triggered, so that's why she told Heather everything. Heather thinks Shannon is jealous. Well, everybody thinks Shannon is jealous, and I'm not exactly sure what Heather's situation is. That's episode 2. So episode 3, Dr. Jen isn't really giving, but okay. Heather, she's giving rich bitch, blah, 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 blah. Gina wants to be married, but this man may not be permanent. Emily and her kids and the religion is the most interesting thing going on right now, and they're Mormon and there's a baptism. So Noella's life is falling apart, and she's leaning heavily on Shannon. Apparently, Noella's husband is under IRS investigation, and he's disappeared from his family and is living in Puerto Rico. I'm not really impressed with Noella because she's a airhead who's sex confused with this miniature sex dungeon, and her credit cards are shut off. She has no bank account, no lines of credit. She was more worried about the sex, and that's the problem from the start. Her husband is an ex-Mormon from Utah. There's a lot of Mormons coming around here. Noella is meeting with Nicole. Both are facing divorce, so they have something in common. Shannon arrives. She's explaining what she felt. Noella says it was a non-suit. Shannon is there. They're talking. They try to work that thing out. They got a little bit past their issues. Dr. Jen, she's not giving anything. It's easy to forget her or what she's there for. Or what is she there for? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what she's there for. Shannon meets with Gina and they invite Noella. Gina's cheating husband story. Gina's not playing fair about how she betrayed Shannon. And Heather and Dr. Jen. Ryan never wears a shirt and it's given only that. Nicole meets with Noella. Noella is breaking down her rent, her son's therapy, her credit cards. We've never met Noella's husband. It's too soon for this. Yeah, it's too soon. It's too soon. It's just too soon. Noella's in denial. Her mother said he's gone. She's saying, you know, if we could just talk to him, get him on the phone, he's my best friend, you know, all these things and all these things and all these epithets. Nicole is writing, she's visiting with Heather. She's saying that Noella said, Nicole is writing with Heather to Emily's party for her husband. She's saying that Noella said Heather is a fake bitch. Okay. Not dropping bombs on the ice queen Heather before Emily's party. Shane finally passed the bar 18 years after law school. Yay! Noella is not feeling Dr. Jen, says she's fake and has no substance. Emily's having a conversation with Shannon at her own party about not being trustworthy and being manipulative. Shannon is backpedaling. Emily and Gina are like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They're always ready to start some shit. Heather is so perfect, it's too good to be true. Shannon issues the big apology because Heather was taking her on an apology tour. Heather issues a bombshell warning. She's not accepting the apology. Heather is going to make Shannon's life hell if Shannon don't back the fuck up. So that was episode 4. So that's it for the Real Housewives of Orange County episodes 2, 3, and 4. So the episodes are giving, it's not really giving that much right now. It's a little bit, you know, the excitement or whatever. Gina and Emily, they're just a little bit too, I don't know. They're trying. So I'm just going to let them have the season to see what it is that they're going to bring, because they seem to be bringing it no matter where, when, why, or how. And they have no regard for when. They just pop these situations. And they seem to understand why Shannon is not feeling the way that they went about the situation. And Heather wants to make it a big thing about her because everything is about her because she's the HBIC in OC. So we're going to see how that pans out. So I'm going to wait for next week's episode and see how much given is given. Dr. Jen, I don't know. I'm going to need to see something other than her husband wears no shirt, because that's not going to carry the season, and that's not going to carry her character for the season, and nobody's that we don't care about that. Like, that's not giving us anything to think about other than is she, like, serious. Shannon and Noella look like they're going to form a nice little friendship, but I don't understand what's going on because we just met Noella and she's already having these problems. We never got to meet her with the husband. We never got to see her with the husband. We never got to see, maybe the husband didn't want to go on the show and he told her not to go on the show, and she went on the show. He was going to, you know, go ahead and leave because it had to be something, because you're going to bring all this excitement and attention and we got all this going on. Now is not the time, sweetie. And he must have knew something and caught wind about what was going on to take off and run all the way to Puerto Rico and disappear on them. And then she wants to sell the house in Puerto Rico and the man is in Puerto Rico. So how is that going to work? No, the man, All right, so now let's move on to the review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Jen Shaw and Lisa Barlow meet up to have coffee. Jen is color blocking and it's really giving. She looks beautiful. It gives everything. Lisa Barlow was in her feelings, not all about Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw feels betrayed and abandoned. Lisa starts to cry and profess her friendship. So the episode starts out with Meredith and her blazer, and Brooke is working on a blazer. and art and having his housewife moment. Jenny comes over and Lisa Barlow also come over for a girls' night and drinks with Meredith. Brooke leaves, which is good, so there's no chance for any type of negative communication. Jenny and her sister wives story for the fourth child, for the 100th time we're hearing this story. Meredith is like out of the blue. Your husband asks for a sister wife and she's like yes and this and that or whatever, and then they give Jenny a makeover and stuff. Meredith is not feeling the sister wife story either, so just to let you know, they had a good time. Jenny was looking good. I liked her color. She was popping. Yeah. Heather's brother leaves the Mormon religion. He admits to Joseph Smith and the child abuse, allegedly the religion being a cult. When Lisa and Jen Shah met up, Lisa told Jen Shah that she's looking at her as innocent until she's, proven guilty, or, she's innocent. She says, I'm looking at you as innocent. And, Jen is saying that I called you first before everyone else, and I just needed to be there. So what kind of friend are you? Why weren't you there for me? And that's all I really need, is for people to be there for me and to, support me, because I'm not guilty of what they're saying. All right. So Jen and Coach Shah are discussing her legal battles and the consequences in the people's lives that will be affected and all that. The legal fees are looking like $2 million, and it's a lot. Whitney and Lisa Barlow have water yoga. It looks like a lot of fun. Whitney has reached out to Cameron. Lisa is still saying she believes Cameron 100%. Lisa believes Cameron, but nobody else should reach out to Cameron. Whitney's research online says Mary and her husband are predators. Whitney's even scared to say what she read so as not to put her family in danger. Lisa says Mary's complicated, and we're navigating someone who's complicated. And Lisa alludes to Mary and Jen Shah issues, saying that Mary's statement was, see what happens when you mess with my church, you go to jail. So they're like trying to say that Mary has something to do with Jen Shah going to jail and stuff like that. I don't know like how that would be so, but Tajera! 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 Turn that down. Yeah. Turn it down, please. Yeah, so when we're doing what we're doing, that was the portion of it that was not working out. Hold on. Yes, my else. So Jen and Heather are definitely on the Bring Jen Back tour, and Heather wants to support Jen Shah, guilty or innocent. If she's innocent, if she's found innocent, she's going to support 100%, cry with her, and be happy. And if it goes the other way, she's going to support 100% and grieve with her, and they'll find a way to work it out. So that's the reason why I don't understand why Heather is so hell-bent on giving that hardness to Mary when she's so willing to forgive Jen Shah for this simple stuff that has happened, right? Guys, remember, it's Cafetiere Lavish. If you like what you hear here, if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, leave feedback, because I always answer all statements, all comments. I answer them, and I am here to have discourse with you guys. All right, so excuse me. The faux lunch. So Lisa looks fabulous. Meredith looks fabulous. When Jen and Heather and Whitney are advancing towards the ladies that are already at the luncheon, Meredith says, is that Jen? And Jen says, I think so, yeah. And Meredith is like, then we have this discussion that if you're inviting her somewhere, don't invite me. And Meredith, no, please, both it, not please, none of our putos, no. She's ready to eat Jenny for this lunch, actually. So they had an interesting lunch where everybody had these questions about, what happened with Jen Shah. And Jen Shah finally got to sit down and give the ladies her story and her version of what's taking place with her legal battles and her legal woes, so that they can let her back into the fold, because everybody was practically putting her in exile and ostracizing her for being a part of this investigation that she has found herself to be wrapped up in. So at this point, they are actually moving past it. They're moving past that she's, because she's saying she's innocent and she didn't have any idea of this. She didn't have any idea that this was happening. This was occurring. She's not guilty. She doesn't know the people that they're asking her about. So Mary is asking her, like, really and truly, you don't know what's happening? She said no. Mary said you didn't have an idea. She said no. Mary said you didn't even have an inkling. She said no. Mary said you had no idea at all. Mary asked her like about 10 times, you sure you never know nothing going on? You sure you never know nothing going on? You sure you never know nothing going on? Anyway, she said she never know what was going on. So Mary decides that she gonna tell her, like, oh Jen, I was believing you and I never said anything bad about you. Everybody else was talking about you. So the ladies were like, no Mary, that's not exactly how it went. And Jenny was getting all high because she liked to come from Mary. So she came from Mary again because Mary already had told her she liked her slanted eyes. I don't know where Mary be getting her stuff from. I mean, seriously. She just puts her foot in her mouth all the time. It just says some things that come out racist. They come out off color. Like, so hopefully Mary will put all of that together and stop putting this, like, thinking about what's coming out before it does come out, and think about it before she lets it out and kind of hold some of this stuff back in. But she wouldn't be Mary if she did. So anyway, Mary decides to have this conversation now with Jen Shah. So Jenny's saying, no Mary, you were talking about Jen and you were saying this and that. And Jen, Mary gets a little upset and she gets up to leave, and Meredith gets up too, and they're walking away, and Mary's like, I can just leave, and Jenny's like, there's the door, and Mary's leaving and Meredith is stopping her, and then Jen comes up to speak with them, and Meredith walks away because Meredith is not engaging with Jen Shah. And Meredith, Jen Shah and Mary have their little discussion, and Mary's like, I was praying for you to be guilty. I mean, innocent. That was epic. Hey, Mary is epic. But anyway, Mary carries the damn show. She gives me everything. Jen Shah really gives me, she's on her apology tour for being, charged for, this fraud. And, it's her moment and her time to get back into the ladies' circle and to be accepted once again, for them to give her the support. That's what she's asking for, and she needs support, and this is what she needs, and that's it. So that's it. The ladies look like they're going to be on their way to supporting Jen Shah in her legal woes. They won't turn their back on her, and they'll be there for her as much as they're able to do. So that's awesome, and that's great. So that's it for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I think I did cover everything. Yes, I did. Okay, so I want to talk about the Don't Look Up movie on Netflix. I did a review for that. Wanted to do it on Clubhouse, but started this club. But you gotta have, like, people and a schedule and time, and people to come in, and people to help you, and people to share the room with you and all this stuff. So that's something that I gotta learn. I gotta get into. I'm trying to learn my way on the Clubhouse app because I'm trying to make Cafetiere Lavish a brand, and so therefore I have to be able to share myself in every platform that I can, and that's what I'm trying to do at this time. So I'm more like stepping out more on Twitter, and I'm stepping out more on the Clubhouse to see how I can do what I do and all this stuff, and try to get into it. So you'll see my my struggles and my attempts, and if I continue or not. I mean, I do like it, and I like speaking. You go in the room, you raise your hand. You interact with people, they interact with you. They invite you to their club. If you like the club, you join it. You join the club, you start a club. It's all of this and all of that. So it's a lot, but time is the master. So let's see what they do with the Clubhouse app when it comes to Cafetiere Elaboration. So for the Don't Look Up Netflix review, Don't Look Up is a movie that speaks about the distraction agenda that is facing the world right now. Nobody, like a lot of people, there's a small percentage of people who are awakening, are being awakened, yeah, and are truth seekers and knowledge seekers and trying to find the truth and knowledge that is out there for us. Um, about everything going on with government and the different agendas and the different plans and the different um, desires for the future. So what happens is that it shows you how the world is responding to like any and all types of events. So it's Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Meryl Streep, biggest names on there. There's quite a couple names in the movie. There's a huge comet coming towards, spoiler alert, there's a huge comet coming towards the Earth. It's Jennifer Lawrence is the actress from Hunger Games. She has her peacock sweater on. Just to tell you, FYI. There's a comet coming. It's coming in like 6 months to hit the Earth. It's a extinction level event. That means the Earth is going to be wiped out. Every single person on it if the comet hits. And they are trying to get the powers that be to stop the comet from hitting and to alert the world and to like prepare or try to find a way to solve it before it hits. And they go to the first level in the hierarchy of people that are above them, the scientists that found it do. And it's very nonchalant, but they get them to the president because they talk about the extinction level event. And so they get to the president. They have a man working with them who is the head of planetary defense at NASA. He's been there for 15 years. The comet is considered a planet killer. It's 100% a certainty of impact. They say that to the president. President says, let's never tell people that we have a 100% chance of anything that's bad. Let's make it 70%. Like, they're like dumbing down the news and, like decreasing the intensity and the urgency of the situation to make it more chewable for the people, or more easier for the people to accept and to absorb. The NASA employee's name is Dr. Oglethorpe, Professor Oglethorpe, or whatever. She made a reference to him calling him Professor Ogilvy from the comedy. So I thought that was funny. After giving the president the news about this mass extinction, the extinction level event that would wipe out the whole Earth, she says, it's midterms coming, in 3 weeks, we're going to be gridlocked, we're going to lose Congress, we're going to be stuck, we're going to be in problems. Let's just sit tight and assess. We'll get some Ivy League people in here to like make a decision, determination, investigation, see what it looks like, and the guy from NASA, you could work with us. So they ship them out and put them on their way. Part of the things that they talk about are like rogue AI and things like that. The atmosphere of the day is like a TikTok atmosphere where everything is a challenge, like a TikTok challenge, and everything is about social media and what social media is saying and how the numbers are going in the polls, and the president is like posing with celebrities and high-level celebrities and things like that, and that's the feel and the atmosphere like today. And speaking to the government about it, the government's not listening, and the people are like, let's leak it. And there's like a super rich guy, scientist guy, not scientist, but like super rich businessman that has interest in the government and is able to fund experiments and things like that, and is involved in everything to do with everything, um, and owns a company called Bash Life, and they place the AI in the phone, and they take it to the news media. It's called the New York Herald, and they say, they need pro bono lawyers right away because they're like whistleblowers, and if they're whistleblowers, they're going to need attorneys, and also they need media training to know how to handle the questions and how to handle like the situation that they are a part of, because they're thinking like, oh, why would we need lawyers for just telling the world that this situation is happening and occurring? They have no idea that it's a breach of national security. They had an interview with a news show called The Daily Rip, and it more was like they were looking for like sensationalism and talking about keeping bad news light, and saying that they needed more media training. And it's like being a truth teller in the social media world of today. And it was like more about how sexy the scientist was, and then the other scientist, she came off as crazy because she seemed like a fanatic, because she's like, yo, the world is falling apart, we're gonna die, everybody needs to prepare and speak to your government and whatever. And then it caused a riot. So they're saying that she's crazy, and it became she's crazy and he's sexy. And they had the guy from Bash Life, which is the third richest American at the time, and he was like the head of what I would think was a social media issue. They went in to see the president, and they were waiting for the president, and the general went in and got like snacks. There was cheese nips and water, and it was funny about the cheese nips because I don't even understand why specifically cheese nips, but they got cheese nips and water. And he charged them for, like, they paid him for it, like he went and used a vending machine, but then they found out that the cheese nips and the water was free. And the scientists couldn't understand why would he charge them for the snacks when the snacks were free. But that just shows you the mindset of some people, because they're just corrupt. Like, it was just corruption, They then were going to send a nuclear bomb to blow up the comet, so that the comet would not come and kill them, everybody on the earth. The richest man now was studying the comet and determined that the comet had gold and diamonds and rare stuff waiting to be extracted. So they wanted to extract the stuff from the comet instead of destroying the comet. So they listened to the guy from Bash Life, the third richest American in the country, and the proposal that he made as a form of defense did not work out, and the comet was coming. Now this started a further riots. There were more riots, and then like FEMA and the guy from Bash Life were working together. And so, as a further means of trying to get the people involved to be able to, what would I say, affect the government, to tell the government like, hey, listen, let's fight this, let's not try to extract this. They were telling them like, look, the comet is here, look up at the comet. And they had like a campaign and an anthem saying don't look up. And it was like a don't look up challenge, and everybody was not looking up, and the comet came. And people were carried away by celebrities, and they were addressing the situation from a business point of view versus what the reality was. And at the end of all of that, the rich man and the president were leaving. A ship was ready to find the nearest planet that's like Earth, and the news were talking about topless urgent care centers, and the news was saying that this was the biggest topic of the day, with the comet like almost hitting Earth. And as the comet comes, would have been the number one topic because it's about to hit, right? No, it's topless urgent care centers. So this movie, I believe, has a lot to do with the Matrix agenda, the agenda to dumb down all information so that when and if a situation like that should occur, we are all stuck in a mind frame, in a place where anything can happen and they can make any decision to not defend the earth based upon any type of decision, and we're going to go along with it, and we're going to have challenges, and we're going to keep going as if everything is fine. Basically, like what's happening now. What's happening now is that a lot of people are looking and listening. Like, I was on the Clubhouse app, and I am going in rooms, and I am hearing people talking about, you know, the Elon Musk and the AI and the time machines and the portals and the dimensions and the universe and the future and what's to come and what is and what's happening. And then I am faced with my friends and like the people in my immediate friend group that are thinking about like the latest news about, you know, like Beaneman or, you know, Shensia or, you know, something like that. And it's very, very, very alarming because not a lot of people have come to the knowledge and understanding of what's happening. A lot of people are going to be blind till the very end. They will not even see what's happening because they are distracted and they are dumbed down, right? And they're just following the herd. So wherever your demographic is and whatever the mentality and the focus of your demographic is, which is like, you know, what music you're listening to, what topics you're reading, if you're reading, what videos are you watching, what content are you absorbing, and all those types of stuff. That's what's keeping the people distracted. All these TikTok and the challenges and, you know, getting yourself, you know, engrossed and involved in challenges rather than what's going on in the world right now, like actually. So it's a lot. I like the show, I like the movie, I like the way it brings the information. If as many people as possible could see and understand and know that this is where our society is headed, for any type of event like this is basically what's going to happen. Like, the people would just sit aside and let tragedy occur. And it is way, way, way too sad to think about the world going out in that way, that form, in that fashion. So that's it for my review for Don't Look Up on Netflix. I wanted to talk about Single All the Way on Netflix also and do a short review on Single All the Way. Single All the Way is an LGBTQ movie. It's a Christmas movie, and it's about two best friends who are LGBTQ, and they're living together as best friends. And one guy, he has a boyfriend, and he's going home for Christmas, and he's excited because he normally doesn't have anybody, and the boyfriend says yes, he's gonna come with him. But then the best friend goes to do a house call and realizes that the boyfriend is married to somebody and lives with his wife. So he breaks up right before Christmas with his boyfriend, and he feels some type of way because he thought he was going to be able to bring somebody home for Christmas, because every time he comes home without somebody, the family's always trying to set him up with somebody. Like, they feel responsible for him having somebody in life, feeling like he's a failure for not having a relationship and he can't keep him in. So he says to his best friend, and they plan so that they're going to go home and tell the family that they're together so that they don't come down on him or make no plans or, you know, all that stuff that the family is always doing. As soon as he gets there, mother tells him that she has a date planned for him. She's setting him up on a blind date. He's not happy about it, but the best friend says, go ahead, go along. This is before they even say they're together or anything like that. So he goes out on a date and finds out that he likes the guy, and they start dating. So they start dating, and like, as soon as they start dating, the family though like him with the best friend. So they start to do, they get involved and they have little plans to put them together. So they do their little tricks and they nudge them together, and they're nudged together, and they find out that they really love each other and admit to being in love, and it's a wonderful Christmas. So that's a great movie on Netflix, Single All the Way. You can catch it there. It's streaming right now. Also, The Witcher. Oh God. So The Witcher on Netflix. I do love The Witcher because, child, you know I like them sci-fi. If it's sci-fi, I'ma watch it. Yeah. If it's sci-fi, I'ma watch it. I don't have the sci-fi brain. I used to love horror, but my spirit cannot abide by the horror movies anymore. So I don't watch horror anymore. I only watch sci-fi and all other. I watch 1 and 2 horror, but it gotta be something different. I can't watch like American Horror Story and that stuff. I'm not doing that. Oh, The Witcher is about this guy, and he is the one who finds strange stuff, animals, beasts, and witches, and he meets justice on them, or he helps them, whatever way it's going, based upon his senses and what he got going on. And he now had went to these people place in this castle, and he had saved this king's life. The man was like an elf, and so somebody had cursed him, turned him into an elf, but he was really a man. And he married the queen's daughter, and the queen wanted to kill him. So the Witcher came in and saved his life, and he told the king that he could have like whatever he want. And the king was like, well, you know, something about some type of hidden promise, that which you have that you do not know. The woman was pregnant. They went out to sea. They died. She had a little girl, and the little girl was promised to him based upon the promise that he made with the man when he saved his life. That's what they had that they didn't know was a baby, pregnant. So, that's that sorrow, y'all. It's good Jamaican sour. Get you some. Anyway, so they were like, oh, okay, so, well, so now, when we started watching the season 1 and it started, the people was having this problem because, you know, death was at the door and somebody was challenging them, which is their adversary, and the queen, she thought she was going to be able to beat them. They was waiting for help. Help never came. So she had her granddaughter, which is the Witcher's promise, and she now had locked up the Witcher. She thought the Witcher was down in the lockup, but the Witcher was already gone out because the Witcher know how to get out of everything. And all that was going on, and she finally told her granddaughter, find the Witcher because that's where your destiny is, and he's supposed to take care of you because he's supposed to marry her. So he's her destiny. So they spent the whole season trying to find each other. Oh my God, it's so good from week to week. Like, I don't know from week to week because I just watched it last weekend. I watched the whole season of The Witcher. Season 1. Ooh, they went to so much to find each other. Like the little girl, she was going through everything. He done met all these witches. He tried to help some. He had to kill some. He had to save some. He had to set some free. And he had a lot going on. She had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations and struggles to get to him. She finally got to him. They got to each other, and the season ended. So season 2 is on now, and we gonna be talking about it. The Witcher, season 2. Episode 1, they together. They went to a castle. They had this castle, it's his friend's castle, and the man is hiding a secret and something's going on, and he gonna get to the bottom of it, and they're gonna move on from there and everything like that. So when they get to the bottom of that, because there's a girl, I don't know what she is, a witch, a fairy, a elf, I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. And I'm gonna be watching. I looked today and I seen like more episodes of The Witcher, and I'm like, is it the whole season that's out on Netflix? Because kill me if it is, because I'm about to sit down and watch it and give y'all the tea and give you the review, right? The review actually, so you can have it, so you can know what's going on, and we gonna have that tea, baby. All right, so that's it for The Witcher. Now I wanted to talk about the Clubhouse. Before I get to the Clubhouse, I want to talk about Bryan Singer's ex-assistant. So let's just do date. Bryan Singer's ex-assistant. According to complex.com, Bryan Singer's ex-assistant shares essay alleging emotionally abusive relationship with very sick man. A former assistant is accused filmmaker Bryan Singer of being emotionally abusive during a romantic relationship, writing about his alleged experiences in an essay for Variety. Allegedly, Blake Sturman says the director behind The Usual Suspects and 4 X-Men movies made him feel controlled in their relationship to the point where he had to get treatment for PTSD after mental and emotional abuse. In one recounting, Sturman writes about Singer attacking a man at a house party, then telling Sturman, "I'll effing kill you if you leave me," an incident that made the latter live in fear. The two met in 2009 and things ended in 2013 with their sexual relationship starting when Sturman was 18 and Singer, who has since been accused of assault, enforced encounters by others, which he denies, was 43. During their first encounter, Sturman alleges he was drunk and didn't know I was allowed to say no. So he made a post on December 20 saying, "I'm a victim of abuse by a very powerful, very wealthy, and very sick man. I am a victim of Bryan Singer." Singer's lawyer says Sturman simply has an axe to grind against the singer. He says, "I was newly 18, alone in a hotel suite with a rich and famous man who was giving me his full attention, and I was intoxicated for the first time in my life. You can imagine what happened next." So let's just blow it up. This is complex.com. This, the young man, and Bryan Singer. Yeah. On top of other allegations over the years, 4 men accused Singer in 2019 of abusing them when they were teenagers, all of which he denied via his lawyer. Singer's attorney Andrew Britler has now denied Blake Sturman's accusations as well, calling them nothing more than self-serving and conclusory statements with absolutely no evidentiary support. That allegedly come after Sturman did not receive the credit that he thought he deserved on Mr. Singer's films. Singer's attorneys also shared text messages between the two, claiming that the accuser asked Singer for money and jobs during the relationship. "Up until a few years ago, I still defended Bryan in private," Sturman writes in his essay. "If someone brought up the rumors of his alleged behavior, I would deny them. It wasn't until I began receiving treatment specifically for abuse and PTSD that I accepted what had actually happened. I am a victim of abuse by a very powerful, very wealthy, and very sick man. I am a victim of Bryan Singer." Sturman also alleges Singer began to expect sex more frequently from him during their time together and berated him and dangled his future in front of him if he found out he was hooking up with other people. Variety reports that it saw documents, photos, emails, and texts along with 20 interviews to corroborate parts of Sturman's claims. His full piece is at Variety. Singer's questionable behavior in his X-Men films has recently been brought back into the light, with Halle Berry saying she got into a few fights with him, said a few cuss words out of sheer frustration. And that's it for that. Okay. All right. One moment. Let me just share something else with you right week. So that's Bryan Singer, y'all. Let me see if there's anything else I can give you about Bryan Singer. Y'all know it's been a long time.
It's been a long time since you left me.
Okay, so right here. Okay, that's one. Okay. So back in June 24, 2020, D-Listed had a article that they said YouTuber Elijah Daniel alleges that Bryan Singer is still running a intimacy ring. In January 2019, The Atlantic published an expose on 54-year-old director Bryan Singer, which basically informed anyone not familiar with the long-standing rumors that Bryan Singer is a lover of pool parties and underage boys. Not long after, Bryan's Red Sonja remake got shelved indefinitely, and it was revealed a few months later that Red Sonja was going ahead, just not with him directing it. So what's the disgraced Hollywood director been up to since? According to YouTuber and influencer Elijah Daniel, Bryan has been up to the same old creepy tricks since being forced into semi-retirement. Bryan has been accused numerous times by many men of allegedly hosting pool parties for executives and powerful people that was also attended by youngins, sometimes underage boys. Having an aquatic mixer with old dudes and not League of Boys is bad enough as it is, but the allegations also included stories of misconduct and assault. The last we really heard anything about Bryan was that he had settled a 2017 assault case a year ago. He was also sued in 1997 and 2 times in 2014 for similar reasons. A whole lot of the allegations against Bryan come from aspiring actors or former actors, which could imply that Bryan was window shopping close to home. But without any movie sets to creep around, Bryan has allegedly had to find a new source of hot young boys, and according to Elijah Daniel, Bryan has started targeting social media influencers. 26-year-old Elijah, who sometimes goes by the name Little Fag when he's performing, went off on Twitter today. Elijah states that everything in the thread will fall under the category of alleged for legal reasons, but I don't know how alleged works when someone is given a first-person declaration that basically says Bryan Singer absolutely tried to recruit me to his boys club. Here's a breakdown of Elijah's tweets below. He says that Bryan and his gross friends started targeting social media influencers as far back as 2017 while still offering vague promises of acting work in film. Elijah accuses Bryan's friends of posing as YouTubers to recruit young male influencers, and that's how Elijah was allegedly contacted. Elijah claims that one of Bryan's recruiters invited him out many times and to bring his friends as well. Those conversations allegedly started in 2015 when Elijah was just 20, so it's safe to assume Elijah was probably hanging around with other 20-year-olds and maybe teens. He says if you check the IG, they're still very much so going on trips to Hawaii with him, driving his Lamborghinis, etc. But their issue here, these men are 30-year-old, parading as young YouTubers, 30-plus-year-old, parading as young YouTubers to make young friends. Elijah says on Twitter, I was first approached by one of Bryan's friends, an alleged recruiter who said he was 22 in and around 2015, 2016. We talked for a bit and then he asked if I wanted to go to Hawaii with his friend Bryan. Instant no. I searched and found him. He was 32. Another reached out to me shortly after on a dating app, continued to ask me to come to his yacht for a party. I googled his name, known friend of Bryan. His alleged recruiters was extremely persistent to get me to meet Bryan all the time. Obviously, no. To bring your friends constantly, also a weird red flag. They have a Twitter feed. A few weeks later in West Hollywood, Bryan himself was there with a gaggle of creeps. He asked if I wanted to take his jet to see the X-Men movie set in Texas. He said a lot of influencers were going, no. All this is alleged. Bryan Singer is a very high profile and dangerous man who a lot of people are terrified to speak out against. He has been continuing to be given a platform and he's effing awful. I just want y'all to be aware he's changing his tactics. Stop supporting. Elijah also retweeted Change.org's petition urging the FBI to seriously look into the allegations against Bryan Singer. Bryan is dumb for myriad of reasons, but targeting influencers is right up there because influencers will blab, and especially YouTube famous ones. Their catchphrase is, hey you guys, for a reason. And thankfully, Elijah did blab because he probably saved a whole lot of other social media influencers from potentially getting recruited. Now, when those influencers see a stranger dip into their DMs with the promise of a great opportunity, they'll have to ask, is this for a pyramid scheme or a party with Bryan Singer? Because I'm not interested in either. Yeah. So, um, so that's basically it. That's the latest. It goes all the way back in June 13, 2019. D-Listed said that he will reportedly settle his assault case for $150,000. So I'm not going to go into that. I just wanted to let y'all know the most updated information about that, and to give y'all the understanding of what's going on, because there's a lot of changes and throw-ups and a lot of great people in and around the Hollywood and the news and all of those communities just catching hell right now. Speaking of which, let's talk about John Griffin. Let's see who has date E. So guys, John Griffin is a CNN producer who's also been arrested and charged for child abuse of the trafficking and all this stuff. So let me just give it to you. The latest news, foxnews.com. Longtime CNN producer John Griffin's devices seized 17 months before child trafficking arrest. And let me just hurry up and get this off. Wait. So, a Nevada criminal complaint against a mom who allegedly sold a 9-year-old child, to the longtime CNN producer John Griffin in Vermont discloses disturbing new details about the sick arrangement. It also reveals that authorities first became aware of Griffin's depraved proclivities 18 months ago. This was on December 15, y'all. Yet the FBI didn't arrest 2021. Yet the FBI didn't arrest him until Friday in Connecticut for allegedly soliciting 3 mothers and their underage daughters for training on fetish intimate relations. The third count in the federal indictment out of Vermont is based on the encounter with the 9-year-old in July 2020, for which Griffin paid the mom $3,500 via Venmo. After the woman's arrest in August 2020, federal investigators seized computer storage, media devices, phones, cameras, micro SD cards, images, and video from Griffin on September 2, 2020, according to court documents. So, the third count in the federal indictment out of Vermont is based on the encounter with the 9-year-old. After the woman's arrest in August 2020, federal investigators seized computer storage, media devices, phones, cameras, micro SD cards, images, and video from Griffin on September 2nd, 2020, according to court documents. This is from Fox News. Fox News has chosen not to identify the mother in order to protect the child's victim's identity. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Vermont did not immediately return a request for comment on the reason for the delay in charging Griffin. Prior to his arrest and indictment, we had no knowledge about the case. A CNN spokesperson told Fox News Digital. The media outlet also said no CNN-owned devices issued to Griffin went missing or reported lost in September 2020, when investigators said they seized some of his electronics. The federal indictment accuses him of trying to entice minors to his Vermont vacation home for intimate encounters last year, and one Nevada mom allegedly took him up on the offer in July 2020. Yeah, guys, so you can definitely look that up on foxnews.com. On all of the major news outlets, this mainstream media is reporting this situation to have occurred. And it is very, very funny because they are saying that he is a friend and longtime producer of CNN, friend of Chris Cuomo, who was also let go from CNN for this scandal that is coming at him right now. Let me know down below what you think. Do you think something happened why all these people are being outed right at this time? What's going on? Do you think that it is tied to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? A lot of people think that. I was on Clubhouse with Ion X the other day, and we were having a discussion, and Ion was saying that he believes that a lot of the information that is being let out is like low-key her testifying, giving information like low-key. So a lot of people are hitting the fan, and a lot of people are going down. So it's a lot going on. For Chris Cuomo, because we haven't talked in a little while, CNN.com said on December 5th, 2021, they said Saturday that anchor Chris Cuomo had been terminated by the network effective immediately. The announcement came after an outside law firm was retained to review information about exactly how he aided his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, when the then governor was accused of intimate harassment. CNN suspended Cuomo indefinitely on Tuesday. The law firm retained by the network submitted its findings on Friday, according to a source with knowledge of the matter, and CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zucker fired Cuomo on Saturday. The producers and other staffers who work on Cuomo Primetime will remain in place. Michael Smerconish, his regular substitute, will host the 9 p.m. Eastern hour the following week from when this broke on December 5th. CNN said in a statement, Chris Cuomo was suspended earlier this week pending further evaluation of new information that came to light about his involvement with his brother's defense. We retained a respected law firm to conduct the review and have terminated him effective immediately. While in the process of that review, additional information has come to light. Despite the termination, we will investigate as appropriate. In a statement of his own on Saturday, Chris Cuomo said, "This is not how I want my time at CNN to end, but I have already told you why and how I helped my brother. So let me now say, as disappointing as this is, I could not be more proud of the team at Cuomo Primetime and the work we did at CNN's #1 show in the most competitive time slot. I owe them all and will miss that group of special people who did really important work." A few hours after CNN's announcement, the New York Times reported that lawyer Deborah Katz had on Wednesday told CNN of an allegation of intimate misconduct made against Chris Cuomo by a client of hers. According to the Times, the client is a former junior colleague of Cuomo's at another network. So a whole string of scandal hit Chris Cuomo in and around the same time that all of this situation was going on. So a lot of people are feeling the fire right now. Let me just give you what I got. So they're saying that he faces an allegation of intimate misconduct. This is the one person that they're talking about. I don't think anything else has come out since then. So we'll definitely give you an update of what's going on with they and with those charges and all of those things that are occurring in and around the community with the different subjects that we have touched. And that is all for that segment. So I want to thank you for watching. It has been Cafeteria Labyrinth with Mona in the Fatigable Heights. Just giving you the news, reviews, current events, what's going on in today, the different things that are happening, the reviews of the movies that are touching on things that are happening and showing you exactly what the mindset of the people are right now. I'm going to do a separate piece on the Clubhouse and the Clubhouse news, Clubhouse tea, and the Clubhouse activities next. So you should see that video coming up shortly after these. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me your energy. Thank you for listening to my reviews. As always, I'm Mona in the Fatigable Heights. I don't know the thing already. Remember, say that not bad and walk good. Thank you so much. It's been Cafeteria Labyrinth. Good night.